Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the first of 2022's This Week in Real Estate. So I took a couple weeks off from this type of video over the holidays, and so now we are back at it. So speaking of the holidays, it was a good last couple of weeks. Had lots of family time, great food, and then also did some work in there as well. So let's get to it. So the market report, Delaware County saw a pretty sizable dip in active listings. So right now I show only 83 active listings, and then which is down, I think the last time was about 113, I think. I can look back, I guess, but it was around there. So pretty substantial dip there. The pendings were about the same. So currently today 110 pending listings in Delaware County. And then Randolph County dipped just slightly, but very similar, and where we see 24 active listings and 37 pending listings. So we'll see what the next few weeks kind of holds as far as those numbers. If we get a bunch of snow, usually that affects a few things here and there. If it's kind of a more mild winter, it may see a little uptick in a couple things. So we'll see what happens. On to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So a lot of good things over the holidays. Obviously the holidays with all the family stuff going on, that was all good, and kids were excited for all their Christmas stuff, and have plenty of videos and pictures of them doing crazy things, and so that was fun. That was good. On the work side of things, a fair amount of good things that came along in the last couple weeks, kind of ended out 2021. So we closed a house in farmland. We closed a house on Virginia in Muncie, and right there at the last second we pulled everything together to close another house in Albany on State Street. So a couple of those, Virginia and State Street, were just kind of, well, let's see when we can do this, and it actually just ended up falling in the last couple of days of the year. So happy all around to get some buyers in the house, and then the latter two, the sellers, get them to their next stage of where they're going. So obviously all that is very good. More kind of work-related items would be, we're getting to the finish line on a few investment properties. So there's kind of 4 in that pipeline right now. We're through inspections and trying to get all the paperwork ready for the closing between a title company and a lender here and there. So we're very well on the way there, hopefully maybe next week to close those out. We'll see. But also I failed to mention the last video, I had just listed a property, and just slipped my mind to mention it in that last video, which is the Williams Print Shop here in Farmland. We got that one listed, and it's a really cool property. I can see just so many different uses for it because it has a bunch of different kind of unique features. So if you think of it basically in 2 separate buildings, you have kind of an office space in one building with separate rooms, but there's still a lot of space for, I don't know, light manufacturing, I guess you could say, or I'm trying to think, storage there as well. But then the second building, which is right next door and connected with the buildings, is what I would call the warehouse. So it's like, I think like 140 feet long by between 20 and 30 feet wide. I kind of forget off the top of my head. But that's basically all open, and like I said, warehouse space. You could, I mean, there's a ton of different options depending on what you're looking for. So the office space has multiple entry doors, so it could be split up if somebody wanted to do that. But a lot of possibilities, and so we've shown it a few times, and got a couple more showings coming up on that, and kind of excited to see, if somebody were to get in there, kind of what they would do with it. I think it's a pretty cool opportunity for somebody. So I neglected that last time, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned it this time. And then some more recent business. So a new listing on Ethel in Muncie just came out yesterday. So we took the pictures right before Christmas, but then we got everything going just yesterday, and I'll be honest, I've lost track of the amount of showings we've had between today and tomorrow. There are currently 3 offers on the table on that, and so we will be negotiating with one of those offers here coming up. So that's exciting for that seller. and then had a couple get their offer accepted right before, I think it's right before Christmas. No, I forget. Right before or right after, one or the other. On Petty in Muncie, super nice house there, and we just got the inspection report last night. Not too bad. There may be some things to be improved upon, but we'll negotiate those. And then let me think, we had the re-inspection on a property, I believe last night, hopefully getting the appraisal back today for a home and farmland to, again, hopefully get that thing closed out some part beginning or mid next week. Something like that is kind of what I'm assuming. We'll see. So again, just a lot of good stuffs and yeah, a lot of good stuffs. But a lot of good stuff, and work-wise and then personal-wise, obviously we had a good time with family and friends over the holiday. So with the good, there is the bad. So the bad, it's not too bad really, but signed up for a new kind of accounting software, and boy is there a learning curve. So I am not an accountant, and I was hoping for this to be easy for me to keep track of expenses and income and pay bills and receive payments, things like that. And I have an accountant that at the end of the year and does quarterly statements and payroll and stuff like that. So she knows what she's doing, but this is hopefully keeping me more organized. And it's a challenge, and but we're working through it. So my assistant Courtney is taking the brunt of that, thankfully. But still, there's some what I'm calling growing pains when it comes to new software systems and things. And so we are slowly getting through that process. So I guess it's good in the long run, but it's kind of bad slogging through it right now. But I guess that could be bad. And then to the ugly, nothing too ugly yet so far in 2022, which is great. And we'll just keep that trend, and hopefully no ugly things happen. How about that? On to Cooking Corner with Curtis. So you would think over the holidays, a ton of people cooking and things like that. I didn't do a whole lot. So Rachel did most of the stuff for the carry-in meals or the family meals that we had, and we had a few of them. And I think my last video mentioned making some cookie tins for some of my coworkers here. But after that, and if you could tell by the previous segment of the good, I was rather busy and I couldn't quite get to some of the baking things that I wanted to get to, and some of the cooking things. But otherwise I ate very well. So maybe it's eating corner with Curtis. Let's go around. But we had a slightly delayed Christmas because of an illness, and we usually do that Christmas in the morning, and we have a nice breakfast spread. Well, that kind of got changed around, and we did something in the evening a few days later, and that turned into a taco spread. So not mad at that. We had a bunch of different options when it came to taco toppings, spicy taco toppings, according to Dragons Love Tacos book. And if anybody has kids 10 and under, you know what I'm talking about. And so all that was good. And just ate way too much sugar and junk, and I loved it, and now I'm paying for it. So that'll wrap up Cooking Corner with Curtis, or Eating Corner with Curtis. So coming up, a lot of things coming up. So this last week, again, busy with stuff, but like I mentioned, we have 3 offers on Ethel so far. I'm expecting 1 or 2 more by the end of the day, and then we still have showings tomorrow, so we'll see how all that goes. We have a closing on Friday. What is today? Wednesday? Yeah, here in a couple days on a property in Eaton. On Friday, also, I'll be down in Hagerstown and Modoc looking at a few properties there. And then on kind of a personal note, if anybody has any Christmas trees, real Christmas trees that they're throwing out, don't know what to do with, I will offer to come get those within reasonable distance, by the way, all my friends and family out of the state or the area. And all I do is put that in our woods, kind of make some bunny habitat or whatever little animals want, a little hiding space. So I've been doing that for the last couple years. If I had a pond, I'd be putting them in the pond for bluegill habitat. But so yeah, I'll come and grab them and throw it out in the woods, and up to, I believe, 4 so far. So I'll come and grab it if you don't know what to do with it. So, and then one final thing coming up, and I hope to do this, I think, on Friday. We'll see, among all the other things. One of the best videos I think I put out, one of the funnest is not a word, but most fun videos I really like is kind of the 2021 year in review, kind of the recap of everything that's going on in the previous year. I really like taking or making that video and putting it out, and yeah, I should be doing that hopefully by Friday. If not, it'll come out Monday. But just shows kind of the appreciation for everybody that used me over the past 12 months. And so, yeah, be looking for that. So that's about it. 2 weeks kind of flew by. A lot of business things, a lot of personal things, but all for the most part was very good. So thanks again for tuning into this, and hopefully you'll tune in for the rest of 2022. And until next time, I will see you later.